The only real difference that I hear between investing in the Cayman Islands and investing in the United States, or the only way that the Cayman Island investments are superior, is the possibility of avoiding U.S. tax. I don't think that that is something the American public would agree with or appreciate.
I'm the guy that doesn't have some offshore mailbox and bank account in the Caymans hiding my money.
Governor, will you release your income tax records?
Time will tell.
Now, that is President Obama's so-called truth team continuing to mislead you, the voters, about Governor Romney's finances. But as those attacks rage on, some glaring hypocrisy on the side of Democrats is now coming to light. ABC News has uncovered that White House senior advisor Valerie Jarrett has up to a $250,000 line of credit, and where else but Bermuda. And she's not the only one. According to the Weekly Standard, DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz also has a history of overseas investments. And joining me now to help expose some of this rampant hypocrisy on the left, Fox News contributor, author of the New York Times bestseller, Culture of Corruption, Michelle Malkin. Michelle, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, Sean. It's good to be back.
All right, so this has been their take now. Let's see. We've got Valerie Jarrett. We got her in Bermuda. Now we've got Debbie Wasserman Schultz investing in Swiss bank accounts, foreign drug companies, and the Bank of India, according to the Weekly Standard. And then we find out, let's see, this Daily Caller. And they point out that Nancy Pelosi has investments in an LLC company, $1 to $5 million. Their singular focus, investing in Asia. And they're lecturing Romney.
That's right. And doing that evil thing that they've been attacking Romney for, outsourcing. I have some free advice for these Democrat operatives, and that is they shouldn't cast these class warfare stones if they themselves have housed their own money overseas. And you would have thought that they would have done this due diligence. I think it's a credit to some of these mainstream organizations, but more credit to the conservative media outlets that are looking at the disclosure forms, digging all of this up, and pointing a mirror and tossing this fake narrative right back in their laps. And of course, it's blowing up in their faces.
All right, well, let's go to the issue of outsourcing, which has been their latest attack on Governor Romney. Though two things have come to light. Number one, the outsourcing that they're talking about at Bain Capital, in fact, did not happen while Mitt Romney was working there. That's point number one. And point number two, if there's any outsourcing, it came from the Obama stimulus. The RNC points this out in an ad.
And most of the money that we're investing as part of this plan will get out the door immediately and go directly to job creation.
The U.S. money has helped to create some 500 auto assembly factory jobs, but they are not in the United States.
Nearly $2 billion stimulus dollars have been spent to build these things. Most of them have been built overseas.
More than 250 foreign workers were hired using federal stimulus money.
Jobs that pay well, jobs that can't be outsourced.
How could it be? A lot of them going overseas, even about to go to China.
A Chinese company called A-Power expects to get $450 million stimulus dollars.
But this is American taxpayer dollars, and they should be American jobs that are created.
Now we've got Finland, the auto investment. We've got Denmark. We've got China. We've got
Mexico.
And of course, we're going to be Brazil's best customer because we're investing in their oil exploration, but not ours.
That's right. I thought that was a very effective ad. It's the kind of aggressive pushback that the GOP and Romney need to be doing because what the White House and the Democrats, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Nancy Pelosi and all of these overseas investing plutarchs are doing is engaging in squirrel politics, okay? The lapdogs are there to be told, squirrel, squirrel, and politics of distraction, and to distract from so much of the shady investing and shady cronies that Barack Obama himself has rubbed elbows with. You want to talk about Swiss bank accounts? How about Robert Wolf or Charles Adams? Robert Wolf, of course, a golfing buddy, a big bundler who has raised more than $500,000 for Barack Obama, in charge of what? Swiss bank accounts. And let's remember that the crony back scratching that goes on includes things like, oh, I don't know, the Obama IRS dropping its investigation of UBS tax havens overseas. Let's talk about that.
All right. You know, it's interesting because the latest attack also has been on the issue of transparency. This administration has not been transparent. I mean, I may be one of a few people that would really like to see the president's college records. I think they may be interesting. I think there's something that they're hiding here. Release his thesis, his grades, his records. What's the big deal? He said he'd be transparent. And then, of course, we have executive privilege invoked over the Fast and Furious. Let's go back and take a look at President Obama pledging that transparency would be a touchstone of his presidency. Watch this.
The way to make government responsible is to hold it accountable. And the way to make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served. Let me say it as simply as I can. Transparency and the rule of law will be the touchstones of this presidency.
Really? Tell that to Agent Brian Terry's parents who've been on this program.
Exactly. Sunlight is always the best disinfectant, and the stone wall that this administration and particularly the Justice Department and Eric Holder have built stone by stone is going to come crumbling down in November, largely thanks to those of us who have pushed since the very beginning of this administration and even beforehand, knowing that this has been a culture of corruption, a culture of darkness, and a culture of fetid, willful disregard for the rule of law and deliberative process.
All right, Michelle, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.